to be on the microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have a microphone currently.
How come this doesn't work?
Good question, Lois. Good question.
I
You didn't have an issue last week speaking with no microphone.
Listen to
Right.
my voice, would you please? I do need a microphone, please.
Option without the, without the AV guy here.
Can she sit at the next to Greg where one of those microphones is
They don't
on?
work either until the whole system is turned on.
Along with the TV system. And we find out
Well, this is
Does
a
anyone else wish to
disgrace.
speak while they work on that?
People can't speak with a microphone. What a disgrace.
A number of us are doing the same thing together.
It also greatly disadvantages the hearing impaired or people who have a hard time hearing, like Teresa. I could barely, my camera and my really good smartphone could barely pick up Ben Olson when he spoke at the public hearing.
Is this in 3 minutes or what?
This turned on.
Right, but I'm just saying, you know, you have equipment, why not use it?
If you want to use
I'm
3
on the
minutes, go up
line?
there.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. Because you don't like hearing what I say. Again.
Leaving me if my voice was better.
It's on.
It's on.
Okay, good.
Right, there.
Okay, there's a-
Is that one turned on?
I don't even have a phone.
That was me, sorry. I'm such an idiot.
Well, that just sounded like it made an echo on there. You want to just sit over here? We might not be able to get the podium microphone to work, but this microphone works.
There you go.
Thank you very much for doing this for me. Hi, I'm Lois Macjei, 13834 179th Street, November 16th, 2015. Dear City officials, our group, the Friends of Hurley Hall, sincerely appreciates having the opportunity to speak and share our requests and concerns with you this evening. Members of our group spoke in front of the Little Falls Planning Meeting on October 5th, and I spoke with members of the Little Falls Heritage Preservation Commission on November 2nd. Last week, we dropped off a written request to staff at the City of Little Falls. Due to the holiday last week, we understand that we are not able to speak at the Little Falls City Council meeting later this evening. However, we understand we can share our letter in this planning meeting. We have sent a carbon copy of this letter to the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls, the National Park Service, the Minnesota Historical Society, of which of course is the State Historic Preservation Office of Minnesota and the Preservation Alliance of Minnesota. Although the letter indicates that we request having a written status of any Hurley Hall review process by this evening, due to the holiday last week and the receipt of the request, we are requesting a written status by November 26th, 2015. Thank you again, and here is our letter. Dear Mayor Silka, Mr. Rademacher, and Mr. Opatz, as you are aware, the city of Little Falls, Minnesota is very fortunate to have a strong, unique sense of place, providing considerable benefits to area citizens and visitors alike through its industries, businesses, environmental resources, and its remarkable history. Little Falls is a certified local government, an CLG, a program jointly administered by the National Park Service, NPS, and State Historic Preservation Offices. In this case, the Minnesota Historical Society, that allows the city to receive enhanced professional and financial assistance from the state and federal governments to help retain our irreplaceable heritage for future generations. 36 CFR 61. According to the NPS, CLGs must meet minimum requirements that include enforcing of appropriate state or local legislation for the designation and protection of historic properties. NPS indicates that in most cases, this is done in the form of local ordinances and facilitating public participation in the local preservation. As the first building and birthplace of so many key community initiatives such as St. Gabriel's Hospital, St. Otto's Home, and St. Francis High School, Hurley Hall at the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls campus in southeast Little Falls has an iconic place in this city's history. Hurley Hall was designated.
Thanks, Lois. Your 3 minutes are up for tonight.
Robin, I think
Robin, hang on.
another Hurley Hall person.
Sorry, I didn't know that. Good.
Yeah.
I'm Rich Macjei, 13834 179th Street, Little Falls, Minnesota. Hurley Hall is designated a local landmark by the City of Little Falls in 2002. Demolition of local landmarks must go through a public process, Little Falls City Code 5.06, that includes review and approval by Little Falls Heritage Preservation Commission, Little Falls City Code 2.33. Hurley Hall has also been determined to meet the criteria of eligibility for listing in the National Register of Historic Places, 36 CFR 60, by Minnesota Historical Society, the State Historic Preservation Office of Minnesota in 2002. Concerned citizens, cultural resource and planning professionals, preservationists, and others have formed Friends of Hurley Hall out of deep and sincere concern for the long-term future of the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls, the regional community, and this landmark building. Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls have indicated that a master plan of the buildings, structures, and facilities at the campus will be undertaken in the next few years. While the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls have stated their intention to demolish or deconstruct Hurley Hall, Friends of Hurley Hall believe that action should be postponed so that the buildings can be assessed in the context of the master plan's recommendations. Other buildings in Little Falls, such as the Buckland Building and Academy of Holy Angels, were able to utilize the federal historic preservation tax incentives and bring needed construction, design jobs, and revenue into the region. Programs are stronger than ever and now include state historic tax credit. For these programs, buildings in worse conditions and scenarios than Hurley Hall are rehabilitated throughout the country on a regular basis. No historical architecture or preservation planner has yet been retained by the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls. The vendor chosen by the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls mostly focuses on modern construction. The loss of Hurley Hall, the first building on the campus and the first center of so many ministries, may certainly jeopardize the marketability of the entire complex, since this significant loss would potentially prevent the complex from being eligible for the National Register and therefore many of the key financial programs. Approximately 90% of the people, when asked, signed a petition requesting that the Franciscan Sisters of Little Falls retain Hurley Hall. There's strong community support for its preservation. Many people we have spoken with cannot believe that such a magnificent historical building is scheduled for demolition. We, the members of Friends of Hurley Hall, are requesting meeting at the City Council planning meeting on November 16, 2015, and being on the agenda of the regular City Council meeting on November 16, 2015, where individuals can briefly express their concern for Hurley Hall. Friends of Hurley Hall request that during either the planning meeting or the City Council meeting, a written status of where Hurley Hall is in the review process by the Little Falls Heritage Preservation Commission.
Thanks, Rich, your time's up.
This is fine. I'm Rachel Schilling, Fort Ripley, Minnesota. Do you need the street address?
Yes, please.
25751, 185th Avenue, Fort Ripley. The Friends of Hurley Hall request that during either the planning meeting or the City Council meeting, a written status of where Hurley Hall is in the review process by the Little Falls Heritage Preservation Commission be provided to Friends of Hurley Hall. Our group would like to be designated as an interested consulting party during the process and request that copies of all relevant applications, permits, forms, and feasibility studies be made available for viewing by the public in a public place such as the Little Falls City Hall or the Little Falls Carnegie Library, so interested individuals and parties can effectively comment as necessary and help ensure that the procedure is properly followed before any demolition occurs. Friends of Hurley Hall appreciates all of your assistance regarding this important matter. If you have any questions, please contact Lois Macjei at 320-632-5397. Sincerely, Friends of Hurley Hall. And carbon copies have been sent. Lois mentioned that. Just what we're wondering, like how many of the city officials have been inside Hurley Hall? Anybody has been inside there for one of their classes or retreats or meetings and different things that they have, and they're continuing to the present. I know a few of us have gone in there, and it's open to the public for classes, and anybody can go in there. Some friends of mine have been taking yoga classes, and other people have silver sneakers and massage therapy. Friends of mine teach there, and it's being used, and it's very beautiful inside, and it's very usable. And according to Dustin and some other officials, I guess there's been many buildings around the country that have been in much worse condition, that have been rehabilitated and used and financially feasible. And there's a lot of money out there if the Franciscan Sisters want to ask for it. And I think as a community we can work together to think of some options and some alternatives so that our Little Falls is great about saving history in this area, and I think it would be something that our community would be wanting to do and beneficial for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mariah, 25751, 185th Avenue, Fort Ripley. To be honest, I just started learning about this building the last few months, and I will say though, it does make me really sad that the generation to come won't see this beautiful historic landmark. And what will our generation and our children have for historic buildings or resources if they continue to be demolished at this rate? I may only be 14, but I do believe that this building will do a lot more good if it's here than if it's destroyed. There are many things that are fixable today, but Hurley Hall, if it is demolished, is not one of them.
We have some pictures from the inside and outside of Hurley Hall, if anybody wants to see them.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to speak?
Robin Hensel, 807 First Street Southeast, and I won't need a microphone. However, that should have been included tonight. It wasn't that long ago that President Don Clinker sat right there where Jeremy Handler is sitting and told the audience that anybody can speak during a work session. That's recorded. That matters. Because tonight, the rules were changed again, and that matters. Mayor Zilka learned early on that Coburns can get favors from the city. All they have to do is ask, and it shall be given. The sign ordinance 801 was changed in 2006 to add number 128, which allowed triple the signage. In B3 districts, which Coburn's Superstore sits in, and of course our mayor is the manager there, and was during that time as well, because of a request for additional signage from Coburn's, and there is 128. From the official city newspaper, Viewpoint, taxpayers foot the bill when cities taken to court. It would behoove, this is a quote out of that article, it would behoove all sides to work these matters out before the city attorneys start their meters ticking. Bruce Smith, Bill Anderson, and I did go to council first. It fell on deaf ears, as usual. City officials can't afford to make legal mistakes, and those who sue need to do so only as their last resort. And I feel it will continue until Kivin and Company understand that by not issuing a stop work order, Roach to straighten this all out, they're directly making the city liable for any illegalities. The citizens don't have the first whack at stopping lawsuits. City officials do. First, because they make the decisions that can generate suits. Second, because they are required by law to do what's lawful. And third, because they have the resources to check the law before they act. Whether misconduct or mistake, the people administering our laws know they won't be held liable for misconduct or mistake. If you're part of the in-group, they don't enforce the laws or follow the rules. If you're not, then the law gets followed and they show their power. In a city manager form of government, there's an educated person who might lose their job. In most municipal governments, there are no consequences, and audits cost money, so crime has no consequence, and that's from a former law enforcement instructor of 30 years. Little Falls Planning Commission unanimously recommends approving sign ordinance. The proposed amendments included exceptions for signs on city property, even after the zoning administrator said lawyers cautioned about this. The city had previously faced allegations that the ordinance was not consistently enforced. There's a difference between an allegation and documented evidence. Once again, I urge this council to delete the sign ordinance or risk future lawsuits that are sure to come. Today, actually it was yesterday, I sent a request.
Time's up, Rob. Thank you.
Okay, that's for next time.
Anyone else wish to speak? Hearing none, we'll move on to regular council items.